Welcome to Get People Talking. I'm Jane.
And I'm Bronte. We're two friends ready to yap about all things, from our iconic moments to our deepest thoughts.
Whether it's the latest hot girl trends, random D&Ms, or just fun chats, we're keeping it real.
So grab your oat latte, get comfy, and let's get people talking. Hi guys, welcome back to Get People Talking with Jane.
With Bronte.
Yeah!
I didn't expect you to say my name.
I didn't expect to either. Sometimes it's just me saying shit.
Still saying shit, are we?
Yep.
Today we are discussing breaking family expectations and creating our own path. And that is what we're doing this season. We are doing it our way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to talk to you about pressures from our family.
You got serious.
Straight to it, girl. We are going straight to it.
No muss, no fuss. Let's go.
So some of the expectations as us females in our mid to late 20s would be feeling or have felt is the expectations of marriage, children, getting a mortgage, or choosing the career over the relationship. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more and how we feel about it. And I'm just going to say it straight off the bat that I don't feel those expectations as much as, say, people in the 90s or early 2000s would have felt being in our mid to late 20s. I feel like I may have gotten away with it. Or it's my parents have become more modern. It's, times have been changing for the better.
I 100% agree. I'm not a child of the 90s, I'll admit that. But I do feel like my family's expectation of me was I needed to wait and to prioritise my career before I prioritised my family and having children and stuff. And all power to you if you are, but I feel like we are both very career-focused people. We want to get ourselves sorted before we get that side of our relationships and our lives sorted. All of that stuff can come later. We want to be in a financially stable position before we, bring children into this world and before we get married and all of that stuff. It's just not a priority for us.
Yeah. Do you find, so you just said your parents don't really have that pressure on you. Yeah. I'm actually finding that out now myself. I feel like in my culture, there was always that expectation, go to school, get a good education, and then start paying your dues at home. As in,
what does that mean?
It means looking after your parents, providing income for the household, basically, and then eventually taking over the household and looking after your parents. That is the unsaid expectation in my culture. And I feel like I would say I'm truly lucky that my parents are a bit more modern and that they understand that, each of their children have their own lives and are eventually going to build their own lives, and we cannot build our own lives if we're, half paying their life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't have that expectation, I would say.
Do you think it's because you're the middle child? You're not the eldest daughter and you're not the youngest?
Potentially, but I also think there's a bit more understanding that life is in this economy, it's getting very difficult. You know what I mean? To try and make your own life is going to be a bit more harder than it was back in the day.
Well, I actually have a little interesting stat for you that's just come out, all about Australia's fertility rate, and that it's fallen to a record low of 1.5 babies per woman.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, and it's actually below what is the replacement rate for a country's population, which is meant to be 2 babies per person.
Right.
Per woman, I should say. And there's a bunch of reasons for that. It's financial reasons, as you mentioned. There's environmental concerns, and people don't know what world they're bringing their children into. And there's also less pressure on women to have those babies. They can focus on their career now and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I actually adore that is how the nature of an Australian society is moving towards, that women can prioritize careers and they don't have to make a life and be a housewife anymore.
Yeah, but there's also that expectations that you need to make a big family. I feel like everyone is a bit more responsible today, And I know a few people who are like, nah, 1 or 2, I'm fine. And everyone knows that, you know, they've set that number and they're going with it instead of being like anything and everything that comes, you know what I mean? Which would have been my mentality like ages ago, like whatever comes. But now I'm thinking, no, like I want a set number to be responsible.
Which is good that you think that way, because even though you come from a big family, you've been able to have that autonomy and make your own choice in what you want your future to look like. Yes. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
That's it. That's the end of the episode, guys.
So we're having no children.
No children.
1.5. Do you know what really like hindered my parents' expectations of me? Hindered?
Yeah, go on.
I think when I like became single, it was like, what the fuck? How are you single at a late age, right?
You were 25, but yes.
Yeah, but like to them it was like, girl, you need to get back on the bandwagon. I was single for 2 years, taking my chill ass time. And yeah, I think that expectation to like find a partner was there, but after so much time of getting used to me doing whatever I wanted, it's like, whatever, she's fine, she's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
she's gonna be okay being single. Like, she doesn't need a man. And that really delayed it.
Which is good. Yeah. Which is good, because I mean, in the 90s, we would both already have children.
Yeah.
Like,
and to be single is like unheard of. Like, who are you? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you like ever watched Sex and the City or shows like that where it's like a crime to be single? And like, I feel like there is not that dialogue in society anymore.
No.
It's okay to be by yourself and it's okay to work on yourself. Which is...
You don't need a man, basically.
Slay. So true, girl. Get rid of them men.
That expectation that you need a man is not true.
So, Mo Jane, how are you taking steps to prioritize yourself in like the context of your family and your expectations that surround you as a woman?
Straight away, I think about setting boundaries. We've said it before, and I don't want to mention it
again. It's fine.
Yeah, but it's always asking yourself, how does this align with my values? Does this decision affect me? Am I doing this to please other people and their expectations, or should I do this to please myself? I deal with that. I live with my family. I deal with that on a constant, but it's like drawing the line between helping someone or doing something for someone to please them. And they're, you know, to be that good daughter sort of thing. So yeah, it's just always about drawing boundaries and putting that line. You put your foot down, girl.
I think it's important to like recognize that there are things that are going to be important to other people that you care so deeply about, but you have to then take a step back, reflect on yourself, and realize that they aren't important to you.
Right.
And set that boundary with yourself and with that person that you care about, that even though that they might want this for you because they want the best for you, it might not be what you see as the best thing for yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is exactly it.
Especially when there's just some topics that can be overwhelming, you know, because we're not ready for it yet, like discussions around marriage and having babies and all of that stuff that we have to do at some point in our lives. It can be tricky to talk about because we're just not there yet.
Yeah.
So understanding that while it's important to them that our parents get grandbabies, it's not important to me right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely not there at all. It could be like the smallest things.
Oh, yeah.
It's good for you. I know it's good for me. But am I learning something there? Is it helping me? Or am I going to help to please you, sort of thing?
Yeah.
That's probably an example that I deal with on a daily.
Do you have any like non-negotiables in your future? Like things that you are set that you want to achieve, where like that could be like a career thing or maybe some timing around your life, like planning what ages you do certain things? Because we've had this discussion before, and I feel like girls start having this thought, like, I want to be married at this age, I want to be having babies by this age, and I want to have my second at this age and third at this age. Like, that's something we start thinking about in our teenage years, I feel like.
Yeah. And I feel like in your mid-20s, you start thinking about it as well because the time's coming near. I have had those thoughts. At the same time, like, I don't want to set those at the same time because it's like, if it happens for me. And I've said it, like, before to my partner, whatever stage it happens, as in, like, having children, if it's before, I don't want to put this I'm going to jinx myself.
Yeah.
But, like, I've said to him, if we have a baby before getting engaged or before we get married, fuck it, let's just have it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And that's something that I feel like has really changed as well.
That whole
in
stigma.
our modern age.
That whole stigma that you must have children after getting married, like, it's out the door now.
Yeah. Which is, I think, great.
Yeah.
I don't have many thoughts on that, to be honest.
Kudos to
other
you,
than,
though.
hell yeah, do what you want.
Yeah, do what you want. Do what you need to do.
I feel like that idea of planning out your life to the age is it's a little bit pointless, to be honest, because I feel like it's never going to happen how you plan it.
Unrealistic.
It's so unrealistic, and things get pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, especially now while we're still finding ourselves and we're still navigating the world as adults, as opposed to what we were when we were teenagers and discussing it at lunch with our friends. My non-negotiable is I definitely don't want to have any children or anything like that while I'm studying, especially since I'm going back to school and I've got another 3 years ahead of me. I don't want to be working full-time, I don't want to be studying, and I don't also want to be pregnant. I think that would just be way too difficult for me. I know that I can't do that. I know that's my limit. So that's non-negotiable, but I do want to have them eventually.
Yeah.
I'm not setting an age to it. I don't think that is productive for me right now. But I know it's in the cards for me in the future.
Mm-hmm. When it comes, it comes. I'm ready. I don't have an age either. Like,
it will happen. How the universe decides it will happen.
I gotta tell you something.
Go.
No.
What if you're just like, I'm pregnant?
I'm pregnant. No.
Oh my god.
I'm so excited.
To be engaged?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
He told me today, he's like, I booked our Valentine's Day. It's like, the fuck?
Shit, he's productive. I think another step that do you know how many times I've had to cut out me saying I think before I go into the next point in the first
No, I didn't
episode?
know.
Jesus Christ, I keep going, I think, blah, 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 blah. I think, blah, blah, blah.
I think.
We get it, bitch. This is all my thoughts. Everything I say is everything that I think.
I didn't even notice until now.
One step that I'm taking is making sure that the network around me is supportive and aligns with my values. So while I've got all of these like family expectations, I find it most important to talk to people who are my age, like you, or like my best friend, who have similar goals and align with me in that regard. It helps me feel like I'm on track a little bit.
It does help being surrounded by people that have the same goals, because you can like step out of your family bubble and be like, well, people my age are doing this and this and this, and they're living like this, you know what I mean? And here I am, like sheltered a little bit. So it is nice and it is helpful, because I see that in my friends group. And I'm seeing how they're living life and how they're adulting, and I'm just like, okay, you know, I should be, not that I should be copying them, but this is a great example. If they can do it, I can do it. Like the same thing about seeing influencers living their best life, right? I see it in my friends around me, and I'm like, yeah, you know, that could be me too. Let's go.
We're all like just navigating life, right? We're all just trying to work it out as we go. So if we've got people around us who are either going through the same thing or have gone through it recently in the same context or in the same ideological perspective that we are all taking, I think those people and having them close and as someone to confide in as I try to work out these things in my own life is just so incredibly valuable.
It is. It is, especially when you're all like similar age as well. It's like that reminder that you need, that you're doing well, like, or you're getting there. Stunning. I think this was one of the topics where I was like, oh, I don't know if we can talk as much, but we did well.
I think it's hard to get into this sort of discussion.
Yeah.
Especially since we come from such different families as well.
Different expectations.
Yeah.
True.
And I feel like we had a really nice discussion on it.
That was
Go
good.
us.
Let's go get people talking.
Do you want to say goodbye?
Yes. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Get People Talking. I hope you learned something very valuable. And where can you find us?
You can find us at Get People Talking on TikTok, on Instagram and YouTube, or right here on Spotify, where we are releasing all of our season 2 episodes, which is pretty exciting, by the way. We'll see you guys next time.
See you next week.
Bye!